So the series that Drinks with Destiny is doing right now is called Destiny Unchained. And so through perseverance, there's a lot of having to let go of things as we move forward, right? So let's talk about some of those things that you had to let go of.
Oh boy.
You don't have to tell everything, just whatever you feel like touching on.
Well, I had to let go of the idea of what I thought my life was going to be. Starting with when and how I got pregnant. Like, that did not go how I thought it was going to go at all in my head. You know, I'm a fairly modern woman, I think, but there are definitely aspects of me that are fairly traditional as well. And in that way, like, I definitely thought when I have a kid, it would be with a partner, and it would be something that we planned out and we decided to do together. That's so cute, so picket fence of me. That is not at all how it happened. I had to let go of the idea of what kind of mother I thought I'd be, because I'm so not that woman. I can't be no. I thought I'd be like the Betty Crocker mom who like would bake cookies and cupcakes and have all the neighborhood kids over at her house after school. Let's be real. I cannot bake to save my life. I let go of marriage, and that was a tough but necessary decision, because I knew that I would not. This is going to sound horrible. My marriage as it stood was standing in the way of my purpose, and I had to let go of it. I had to, because I knew for a fact that if I stayed there, I would not get to where I was supposed to be. And it was tough, you know. And I was definitely scared to leave because I'd become accustomed to a certain way of life. My daughter had been accustomed to a certain way of life. I did not want to move her out of the home that she knew. I didn't want to take her away from the man that she's known since she was 4 as her dad. I didn't want to take her out of his environment. He would never not be a part of her life, but that every day of being a parent and having your dad there, I didn't want to do that because I know what that was like, being raised without a dad. But I knew that if I was going to give her not only the kind of life that I wanted her to have, but the kind of life that she deserved and that she needed, it wasn't going to happen there. It wasn't. And I had to think about, as a woman, what did I want portrayed for her as how a woman should be treated in a relationship, and how a woman should value herself in a relationship. And I know a lot of women will stay in relationships where they're not happy because, you know, the kids and whatever. And I get that, and this is no judgment, but I always say, okay, I understand that you don't want to put your kid through this pain of a divorce because it is painful. I knew that it wasn't healthy for her to see us arguing all the time. I knew that I did not want her to see me being spoken to, especially as a Black woman, being spoken to that way by a white man. Like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No man can speak to you this way, but especially not this. No offense, Neil, but no. That's not how it's going to go down. And I needed her to see what assertiveness looks like versus aggression. And so, yeah, letting go is not the end. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes it actually, is the thing you have to do to actually get on with the life you're supposed to lead.
Agreed.
Yeah. I was not prepared for motherhood and the challenges that come with motherhood, which is weird because I was a social worker working with children and families telling mothers how to be mothers. Like, that was my job. But there's like a switch in your brain that supposedly, like, when that baby comes out of you, that switch says, you're a mother now. Love this thing. And I was like, I don't even know you. I'm supposed to love you? Like, seriously? Let's wait and see. Like, that's where I was at.
That's way more common than most people understand.
That's where I was at. I was like, I don't even know you.
I appreciate your truth in that, because I think that's true for a lot of parents.
I think it probably is. And we're
beginning.
not supposed to say it. Like,
Yeah.
we're not supposed to talk about that shit.
Yep.
But yeah, it was real.
Yep.
And I remember looking at her like, okay.
Yeah.
They say that you're mine. I saw them pull you out, but I'm not 100% convinced. And I low-key think my kid knew it too, because she was like, I don't like you either then. And like, I've never seen a newborn who's like hours old who refuses to breastfeed. But she was like, get that titty out. Like, I don't want it.
Yep.
And I think it was just kind of our mutual, like, I don't know you either type of thing. But I knew around 2 months of age that like something just wasn't right. She wasn't developing the way kids were supposed to develop. And the pediatrician kept putting me off and telling me that I was overreacting. But as a parent, even if you don't like your kid right off the bat because you don't know them, you still know that something's not right, right? Because you carried this kid for 9-10 months.
There's a connection.
Instantly. Like, you
Absolutely.
just know.
Absolutely.
And so when we got her diagnosis of cerebral palsy and bilateral schizencephaly, which is basically 2 holes, one on either side of the brain, I did have that brief moment of like, oh, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. We're not going to be able to do this. Like, all those things you dream about, like ballet class, gymnastics, prom, all the things, right? For like a brief second, like I literally was like, oh shit, like we're not going to be able to do any of these things. And I got really sad, which I think is normal. I think it's very normal for parents who are getting a new diagnosis to grieve the parent-child experience they thought they were going to have. I think it's normal. I think it's human. I think it's okay. Mm-hmm. And anyone who says different, fight me. Like, I'm here for it. We will go toe to toe. It is a human reaction. But I'm not a person that wallows in the sadness, right? Because who has time for that shit? Like, okay, I have this kid that's gonna need all these things. I don't have time to sit here and be sad about what we may or may not do.
We got shit to do.
Right, I got shit to do. So it was like, man, fuck that. I know who the fuck I am. We're gonna do all the things. And was just like, okay, when do we start therapy? I thought we weren't going to do cheerleading. That for that split instance, I was like, oh man, like we're not going to be a cheerleader? Bullshit. We're cheerleading. And she actually, the coach and I figured out a way for her to do her first stunt. And so they've been working on that. And I saw the girls execute it last Tuesday and it was amazing.
She told me I could come watch her cheer.
Oh,
I already asked.
Yeah. Yeah. And she loves it and the girls love her. And yeah, so we're doing things. She's done ballet classes, which she loved. Mm-hmm. And she did her first recital in front of like a packed audience and she loved it. So yeah, there's nothing that we're not going to do except for scuba diving. Just not going to do that.
Well,
no.
Time will tell.
No. No.
I want to show them. And I think this picture's the book, but
yes.
Clarabelle Blue.
Meet Clarabelle Blue, yep.